Hi, friends. It's your internet neighbor, Meg here, lifetime inner coach on a mission to help people shine brighter. And welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how to organize your activism. I'm going to shut this fan off down here. Today, we're going to talk about how to organize our activism, and we're going to do that with a sheet from the Passion Planner. Why organize your activism? Listen, there are so many things, topics, ways for you to be a part of making change in the world. And I think that one of the ways that you can really double down to make sure that you are doing it is to keep notes, is to take inventory, is to make a plan. Have a plan. Be ready to be ready. Don't get caught not being ready. Have receipts. And that's especially important. I'll say this in my introduction for folks that look like me, to have receipts. Because it's one thing to say a lot of stuff, but if your talk doesn't match your walk, guess what? That's real ugly. That's not allyship. That's not being a co-conspirator. That's not even being a decent human, in my opinion. So what can you do, right? I hang around the internet a lot, and what I see in comments, forums, places is a lot of people asking, what do I do? How do I get involved? What should I do? Or on the opposite of that, they are overwhelmed. There's so much information that folks are unsure of how to proceed. There becomes a decision fatigue or a information action paralysis. And we don't have time for paralysis when it comes to being politically active, when it comes to engaging in civics, when it comes to being a constituent, right? When it comes to being a person who the government works for, we just got to get it done. And every single person matters, right? It's like a chorus. It's like a choir. When a choir sings, they are no more as powerful as when all of them are doing their part to sing together. And one voice can sound really beautiful and really lonely at the same time. But when everyone starts pumping in together, that group mind, that harmony that's built by everything adding up is what makes the really big impact. It's why we know boycotting works. It's why we know hitting people in the pockets matters. It's why sometimes peaceful protesting doesn't work and doesn't have like the effect that we think. I think it was Charles Blow on Instagram had made a video, and he was talking about how, the folks who marched in the civil rights era were marching to signal that something was going to happen. Like, we're going to march to here and we're going to do this thing when we get to there. We're going to march to here. We're going to sit down at this counter and eat food when we march to there. That's not the kind of protesting that's often happening in this 2025 thing, because there is a legitimate fear of martial law being enacted. And if you aren't familiar with martial law is when the government can basically put military on the streets to keep people off the streets to ensure their safety. And the first time I really heard about martial law in the United States, or like the prospect of it, was around the pandemic. And it was around, like if they had to go into severe lockdown and they weren't going to let people on the streets, they were going to enact martial law to like make sure people stayed in their houses. Luckily, we didn't get to that. My chaos coordinator mug, and I am drinking a mix of hazelnut coffee with like a Peruvian blend. And for some reason today, it's hitting. Okay, so without further ado, let's dive into this. I'm going to put this presentation up on the screen. I think. There we go. Things is hard. Okay. Let's see if we can get this to be full screen. Perfect. I wanted this to be a little bit bigger than it is, so I'm actually going to stop the share and start sharing it a different way because I'm that girl. Okay, so the Organizing Your Activism sheet comes from passionplanner.com website, and I will put that up on the screen so you can see it. If you're here, say hello, drop a chat in the comments and say where you're from. I'm hanging out here in Massachusetts. It's snowing today. Okay, this is what we're doing. Okay, now I'm going to pull up the worksheet on the website. Organize your activism. Everything went wrong today to get on this live, but that's okay. That's okay. All right, this should do it. Okay. Okay, thank you for sticking with me. We will share the screen. Okay. This should be big enough that y'all can see it, and I hope that it is. And so we're just going to try and do it like this. This is on the passionplanner.com website, but this is the worksheet that we're going to be working through. And the worksheet is a couple pages. It's 4 pages. So I'm on the front 2 pages right now, and we're going to focus on this page right here. And so this worksheet is broken down into a couple different pieces. It's broken down into organizing or inner work, quotes, and then also reflection questions. There is another page too that is this outer work, and then more ways you can take action. We're going to walk through each part of this right now. So for the Organizing Your Activism inner work, I want to read you what it says at the top. It says, community engagement means to have community involvement from beginning to end, which fuels the passion that drives any movement. Seeing yourself in the movement is how we can begin to lift our cause higher. The beauty in community engagement is finding individuals who share the same experiences as us, finding space to see ourselves in one another, rising together. That's what we call ourselves here, in unity. It all starts at the beginning in inner conversation with yourself and expanding the dialogue to your community. Like Dana Lynn Knuckles, the creator of Divination for Liberation, says, revolution starts in the body. Revolution starts in the body. And because revolution starts in the body, the work that we have to do first is inner work. It's not outer work. It's not like, let me go do all of this stuff. Let me line up. Let me buy these, buy. Let me. That's not what it is. So what is it? Let's walk through. First, you're going to do a self check-in, right? Inner work. Revolution starts in the body. I believe in making changes that I'm passionate about. Right now, I'm passionate about, boom. What part of what we talked about yesterday are you passionate about? If you could pick one element of all of those things listed, all of those issues listed on 5calls.org, what one would really be the one that you could talk about every single day to every single person you know, over and over and over again without losing your air? For me, it's trans rights, LGBTQIA+, and their validity and their validation of their whole personhood. It's also immigrant rights. So that's what I would put up there. The next question says, when I think about the injustice of an injustice you want to change, I feel this. When I think about the injustice of transphobia, I feel enraged. The next part says, no matter what these feelings are, I can use them to guide me towards making a positive impact, but I know I cannot do this alone. There are already people who have been making the changes I want to see in the world. I can follow the footsteps of Ida B. Wells, Fannie Lou Hamer, Amanda Seales, Shirley Chisholm. The list goes on and on. There's plenty of people that are doing the work that you have done the work that you are passionate about doing. They inspire me with their insert their qualities, influence, what they've done to help you feel inspired. One thing they've done to progress our world forward is this action, right? I know I can do everything, but I can't. I know I can't do everything, but I know I can do something, right? So I'm going to use for me, it would be privilege and intelligence to voice and blah, blah, voice. So I will use my blank and blank voice to promote my vision of a better world. Adjectives to describe your unique voice. I will use my confident and powerful voice to promote my vision of a better world. A world where we are doubling down on collective liberation forever and ever and ever. Amen. I'm ready to give my time, talents, money, platforms, circle any and all that apply. We're down here at this part. And do what I believe is right. I believe my own unique power to affect change, no matter how big or small. So that's like a pretty big worksheet, right? And I say this worksheet, if you're organizing your activism, you should do this check-in probably maybe whenever you need one, like if you're feeling really burnt out on your activism. But also, I like to do it once a month when I'm, in the work. And I say in the work because I think it's really important to notice and note that not everybody is in the work 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year. Not everybody can be participating in that long. And that's why we need community. That's why we need deep ire and building movements, social ecosystem change map, because there are different roles for different people in this social ecosystem of change. And I actually think that would be a great video for us to review next week, because I think finding your role in this ecosystem of change, or finding, the roles that you hold in your professional life, the roles you hold in your personal life, like, not everybody is as fluid in the way that their life leads. Some people are more compartmentalized. You might have a different role in change in your workplace than you might in your home. So we can definitely go over that. But back to the organizing your activism page. We're over here on the second page now. And so this page is kind of like, let's do a little crafty timeout of our reflection. So it says at the top, we as community can never reach our full potential if we don't reach back out to the past and make the present stronger. The most effective form of activism is when we make it personal. Personal, I want to get personal. Personal by standing up for issues that have impacted us. Personal by bringing the people we love with us. Remember that activists and change makers do not have to be famous or well known. It is not a requirement to be a celebrity or to be a celebrated activist, even at that part. They can be people you engage with every single day. For example, there is a small town next door to my town that I used to live in. There is a person who every week for 15 months has led a Palestinian support standout in that small town. They have done it rain or shine. If they can't do it because it is too cold or the elements are too much, they bring people together online. Does the world know this person? Absolutely not. Are they making enough of an impact in their community that I remember them and see their emails and come on here and can share about it? Yes. Am I able to go to those standouts? No, I'm not, because I'm disabled and chronically ill, and it would be a bad choice for me. And I can still know about them and echo them and elevate them. And I think sometimes we have to think about where we're organizing at, So in this box, I want you to put some quotes down from your favorite change makers. I know for me, one for me is Fannie Lou Hamer's "None of us are free until all of us are free." This would be a great place to look at. I just watched a documentary last night on banned books that was on, it's called The ABCs of Banned Books. And it's a documentary where they exclusively interview children in 2023, which is hard to believe that's 2 years ago, about banning books. And we often tend to think about 9, 10, 11-year-olds as children, because they are, but they're also self-led in so many ways. They have the ability to know what they want and what their brains and their intellects are craving. And banning books and, fundamentally burning books, if you will, is the stuff of the Nazis. And we're seeing it happen here. And we have been seeing it happen, not just in 2025, but since Project 2025, the 50-year plan to put the fundamental evangelical right to the front. So what quotes inspire you to do things differently? We're going to put that here. Next, we're going to do some reflection questions. What inspires me to take action? Who or what gets in the way of my ability to speak up? And then a world that I would be proud to live in looks like. A world that I would be proud to live in looks like Palestinian sovereignty and returning the lands to all indigenous folks. Land back every day, all day. All right, let's go to the next page. So we did inner work, right? We did reflection, we did heart work, we did soul work. Now we're going to look at the outer work, the physical work, the stuff that people really are like, this is the activism. But remember, in the words of Dana Lynn Knuckles, revolution starts in the body. Now we have worked through the inner parts. What can we do to advocate? So let's start with the big money maker, the thing that runs everything, money. What businesses, nonprofits, and fundraisers can I support? I would also add here, which mutual aid campaigns in my community can I support? What food pantries in my community can I support? One of the ways to really help people in your community is to keep care bags in your car. These are bags that are assembled with like basic needs that somebody might need if they are an unhoused person. So if they are without housing, maybe they might need small first aid things. I like to put Narcan in mine. I'm also getting fentanyl test kits for people. These are things that people who are unhoused and might actually be in active substance use disorder do need. And I feel if we can empower people to be more conscientious in how they're navigating things like substance use disorder, we actually increase the amount of harm reduction. Talents. What are your skills? What do you enjoy doing? Do you like smiling and dialing? No. Maybe you like emailing. Maybe you like working with people in person. List 3 talents you have. Maybe it's writing. Maybe it's production. Maybe it's creating, sewing, crafting. I can think of a project in every single one of those things that you could do to support your activism. Platforms. What spaces, virtual and physical, do you have a voice? I have Digital platforms. Do people see my work? I think some people see it. Does it matter to me if people see it? No, because the idea is that I'm adding my voice, as we said at the beginning of this, to a cacophony, to a choir, so that if only one person sees this video and they get something out of this, that's value. That to me is like, I'm doing my work. I'm using and leveraging my platforms that I would typically use to pull resources from the capitalist system. I'm using them to help the people. That's us. My time. When you're in your schedule, where in your schedule can you devote time to your cause? Can you put on your schedule 5calls.org 15 minutes a day and make those phone calls? Can you do phone calls 3 days a week and then send emails the other 2 days of the week? Listen, it's a recipe and you get to choose what the ingredients are. And I want to really say that no action is too small. You know what I'm saying? If you only have $3 to give to a mutual aid campaign, give the $3. Literally, it's $3 that the mutual aid campaign didn't have before. It's the choir. That is your strain that you're holding. Also, too, there's other ways to show your support without cash. A lot of people talk about cash reparations, but reparations to me are also leveraging your skills to give back to people that need them. So if you're a lawyer, can you give pro bono legal support to people that are marginalized or in marginalized identities? Last page here. This is ways that you can take action. So in order to change the system, I must disrupt it. That's what this is all about. How can you be disruptive? Here it lists formal tactics you can take and informal tactics you can take. In the comments, please share which tactics are not listed here. What are other things that you can do or organize to make your stance known? Down here, this is a great reference point of your elected officials and their names. Your governor, your state assembly, your state representative. You also should put your state senators on here. And you should also have your city council people maybe on the back of this page. Okay. This is the last page. There's a lot of information on here. I want to give credit to the folks that made this because I did not make it. This was made by Passion Planner and Brissa Johnson, who you can locate here via any of these links. This is their worksheet. Up here, there's some notes, and it's just really important, I think, to read this. It says, activism and exercising your power can feel extremely overwhelming, especially during an election or, in our case, post-election season. Constantly being bombarded with messages on what allyship and activism is or is not. Social media feeds congested with political memes, and who to vote for or who to support can feel like a lot of pressure. It's important to step back and go back to your whys and your whats. Why is exercising your power important? Why did your ancestors fight so hard for the rights that we have today? What does voting or protesting or volunteering mean for you? What does voting, protesting, and volunteering do for the people that I care about? And the most important thing that's written in here is your reason drives your purpose, which ultimately will drive your passion. And I think one of the hardest things to do is to stay focused on some of this stuff, is to feel that we have a sense of direction when the powers that be, the government that we employ, is trying to make us feel rather disoriented. And I want to remind you all that it's by design. It's happening more brazenly than it did in 2016, but this is exactly what happened in 2016. And I think that we don't have, obviously we don't have the political reference to know of anything like this where a president who was as hateful and aggressive as Trump to be in office than to leave, than to come in after so much has been attempted to be undone and redone and the back and forth of it all. But we know, at least I know, that Joe Biden and Donald Trump are not that far away from each other. And this work is the work that I've been doing since before Biden was elected, because this is work that we were doing in 2020. This is work we were doing after the insurrection in 2021. And it's work that we will continue to do to support our siblings of the global majority, to support our trans and non-binary siblings, and to support each other as we seek to create collective liberation, right? This is the work. It's a daily practice. It is a showing up that says, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but at least I can add some time to considering why and how. And I think the considering, the noticing sometimes is the part that feels so inactive, but is so important to being able to connect yourself to the collective. We are not designed to take in the events that are happening in the way that we are. Our nervous systems are not designed for this level of incited chaos. And we are certainly not meant to process this stuff alone. We're meant to be in community. And I think that's why, as somebody who lives alone, I seek out communities in the virtual world, because it helps me ground into the work and the person that radiates my values, right? Like, activism is about integrity. It's about doing what you say you're going to do and seeing it through for the long game. And this worksheet from thepassionplanner.com can really help. I don't know what happened. Can really help you. Can really help you stay in tune to what's going on. I clicked out of the stream there. Hopefully I'll be able to edit that out. But, you know, at the end of the day, my hope here is that you can take this worksheet that I will link in the description, and you can really use it to guide the activities that you're going to be doing on a day-to-day or a week-to-week basis within your own activism. And remember, like, it doesn't have to be perfect. We're looking for progress, not perfection. So with that, friends, be good to yourselves, be kind to one another, keep unleashing your greatness into the world. And remember, activism is a practice, and it takes a plan. So get to it, and hit me in the comments if you need any support. I'll see you back here real soon.